I've broken down over 337 funnels from some of the top coaches and gurus out there, and I've worked with multiple 5 and 6 figure entrepreneurs to scale their coaching business to multiple 6 figures per month. So today I'll be giving you the exact systems and the exact processes that I used to scale any coaching business to $100,000 plus. Let's get straight into it. So first of all, we're going to start off with breaking down the content optimization, how exactly you're going to structure your content for the maximum conversions, as well as the maximum reach that you can possibly get. The market research, how you're going to get data and how exactly you're going to use that data for your specific offer and, your product creation. Then we're going to get into the offer creation, how exactly you're going to create an offer and how to actually systematize your offer, how to go over power offers and closing offers, and of course, how to create your specific product according to your offer, and of course, what your ICP is. Then also we are going to go over funnel creation, which funnel to actually choose, all the basic types of funnels, going over their pros and cons, and of course how to choose the perfect one for you. The launch preparation, how you're going to generate hype, how you're going to go ahead and email people with the exact email examples, how you're going to promote in your YouTube, your WAP, your whatever, like whichever community hosting platform you have, as well as how you're going to promote on all of your social medias with exact systems. Then for sales, we're going to go over exactly which sales systems that I use for my clients, how to make pre-call assets, how to remind people and get 80+% show up rates, how to go ahead and track all of these metrics within different softwares. And then of course, there's going to be the onboarding and fulfillment, how to not look like a scammer by actually making everybody feel special, avoiding buyer's regret, and maximizing or minimizing the amount of refunds that you actually get, as well as how you're going to go ahead and fulfill for those specific clients. So we're going to start off with the content optimization first. For content, I'm going to be breaking down the 3 main platforms, in my opinion, which are going to be the YouTube, the TikTok, and the Instagram. The reason I'm breaking only these 3 down is just because, in general, every other platform is kind of secondary to these 3. These are the main platforms that you want to start off with if you're trying to start a coaching business, if you're trying to be remotely successful within coaching in general. And so the way these platforms work is that TikTok and Instagram are traffic farmers. You want to just use them for traffic. Then you want to funnel everybody into your YouTube, because that's where we're going to go ahead and start nurturing that exact traffic. Then after that, we're going to funnel them back into Instagram, where we're going to go ahead and convert everybody. Now, let me go into a little bit more detail here. So for TikTok, we're obviously just going to funnel them straight into YouTube, and I'm going to get into the whole content strategy in a second. But for Instagram, what you're actually going to do is you're not going to funnel them, straight into the YouTube, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to have to get them to try to follow you. You want them to also look at all of your stories, and you also want them to press that actual link in your bio. And then only then you want to allow them to go to your YouTube. So that's why a good idea is to never link your YouTube from your Instagram. Instead, allow people to find it, naturally through searching on YouTube or being recommended you organically. So why exactly is this? So the reason that we actually want to do this is just because of Instagram's specific features. Now, Instagram has, and one of these actual features is story sequences. And if you dial this one thing in, you will instantly be able to 2x your coaching business within the next month. It's that powerful because Instagram story sequences are possibly one of the most important things that you can dial in for your content in your business for conversions, hands down. It's one of the biggest levers that you can pull. And of course, if you master this, doubling your coaching business within the next month. And it's used by some of the biggest people in the space, like Rob the Bank, $689,000 a month, like Brett Scales at $1.2 million a month, like Iman Gaji at $3 million per month. And all of these guys are using the exact same strategy. But what actually are they? So it lies in the name. So it's story sequences. So multiple sequences of stories that you post up on your Instagram. And this is not really for everybody. This is mostly for the people who want to spend less time creating content. They don't want to wait for 7 months, which is, by the way, the average time for new leads to move through the value funnel, which is, getting them to know you, getting them to like you, getting them to trust you, and then, of course, monetizing with them. And they don't want to compete with everybody else for new leads, because think about it, whenever somebody searches up AI automation or whatever your business model is, the first person that they see, you're going to be competing with all of these other people that are posting videos about that specific topic. So this is, and the only people you're not competing for is the people who you've already gotten into your funnel. So you can go ahead and tap into a huge warm lead list who you already know and you already have as well. And this is not your email list, a list of leads who already know, like, and trust you. A list of leads that will buy even if there's no absurd guarantee, even if there's a $5,000 plus price tag, and even if the product isn't even that great. And that list is your IG story viewers, as you can see here. Because think about it, who are 90% of the people that click on your story? They're your followers. And most of the people who follow you have already gone through the value funnel. So you can see they've already gotten to know you, they've already gotten to like you, they've already gotten to trust you, and they've already monetized almost with you. So this is what you want to get them to, right? They've gone through all the main parts of the value funnel. This is exactly what the biggest guys in the space are using to make multiple 6 figures, multiple 7 figures every singular month, just like I said before, right? And so if you don't have the attention span of a goldfish and you actually want to get value from this specific video, then you want to go ahead and watch until the end of this video. You're going to learn exactly what story sequences are, how to use story sequences with 100% effectiveness, the secret story sequence formula, the best types of story sequences to post on your story, and an exact game plan for you to book 10 high quality appointments for your high ticket offer within the next 72 hours. No exaggeration. And this is starting right now. So this is the basic structure of any story sequence. You want to have the hook, the story, the proof, and then the CTA. And these 3 main ones, these are just building a metric ton of hype, okay? That's the main goal of these 3 specific story slides, okay? And you can have way more of these. It's just that the main thing is that CTA is paying off all of the hype that you created previously, okay? And that's why you want to create as much hype as physically possible in these situations. This is very simple, but it's extremely effective. But there's a little bit of a problem that a lot of people face: audience burnout. Now, how do you avoid that audience burnout? Which is like, you know, every single time if somebody sees your story and you're just selling them something, obviously they're going to be like, okay, every single time you post a story, he's probably selling me something, which is going to reduce your story viewers by a metric ton, which you don't want. And the solution to this is actually just lifestyle posts. Like, as you can see, this is an example from Iman Gaji. This is one day on his main account that he's posted like 10 stories, all back to back. So there's virtually no limit on how many lifestyle stories you can post. Just add a little bit of variety. Like 1 video a day is really good for lifestyle. Super raw and authentic video. Do not try to make it super edited or anything like that. And the basic cadence you want to go for, and the basic cadence that people like Iman are following in this huge space, are about 4 sequences per month, and then infinite lifestyle stories and infinite, you know, lifestyle content. And so as you can see, is a quick example for a story sequence. As you can see from Iman, I haven't been completely honest with you. For months now, I've been watching something unfold. I've kept quiet about it, and I decided to keep it a secret until I actually got my hands on actual proof, which I just got in. 4 months ago, I put out a challenge online. Lots of people saw it. A few took me up on it. You might have seen it. $8.9 million tracked in earnings from 90 days. Then the actual social proof, as you can see, one guy won a McLaren, one guy bought his own, and all applying the same strategy. Then he has proof, and now he's actually ready to reveal it. As you can see, all of these slides are just building a metric ton of hype for what this actually is, because you're like, wait, how am I going to get those results? I also want those results. Give me the strategies that I can use to get those exact results. Then he can go into a CTA, which is, you know, I'm hosting this challenge again, maybe one last time, a little bit of urgency. You can claim your free spot while tickets are still available with a CTA. As you can see, disclose some insider info, hyping it up again from September 28th to 30th, and then giving you an actual name with a second CTA at the end. You don't have to do this, but it's, again, a really effective strategy that you could do with 2 CTAs, but I'd say just stick to 1 for now. Now, obviously, we've gotten the Instagram and the features of why we want to use Instagram down, but what about YouTube? So for YouTube, the basic thing I can tell you guys is just do not overcomplicate it. So as we take William Brown as an example, okay, he has 82,000 subscribers and 95 videos. He founded an e-learning company, etc. And as you can see, the first video, the most popular video, is 531,000 views. And this is the thumbnail. This is not edited at all. He literally just took a frame from the video and how I'd make 10K a month ASAP if I start again. As you can see, there's no capitalization or anything like that. It's super raw and authentic, which is, again, the meta in this day and age. And you can see the same exact pattern with all of these other thumbnails. And you'll see that this is also actually a Canva font. And he literally made this within Canva, okay? And you'll see the same thing with TJR, which is somebody who you guys are more familiar with probably. He's getting 100,000 views, 121,000 views, 57,000 views. It's insane on just raw and authentic VODs from his trading, right? So he's just literally reposting videos where he traded. It's insane, and he's getting hundreds of views. And just as a tidbit for you guys from William, he actually disclosed this, I'm pretty sure, in one of his videos, where he actually said around about every 600 views that he gets, they go through his value funnel, and he gets 1 client out of those 600 views, which is insane. So YouTube is like a button that you can just keep pressing for 600 views for each and every client. So if you're selling a $5,000 mentorship and you wanted to make $100,000 per month, all you really need to do is get 12,000 views on a single video, and bam, you have just made $100,000 with just that singular video if you had conversion rates like William does. So the way you can actually copy the strategy and implement it into your own business is through these 3 types of content. So first type of content is top of funnel content. This is content that is going to get people kind of into your funnel to see you kind of, and get a little bit more get to know you a little bit, basically. Just be like, okay, he exists. So Iman's $2.8 million Cape Town mansion. This is just stuff that appeals to everybody. So a lot of lifestyle stuff, for example, from Brez or from TJR over here, from Samuel Onaha, $50,000 shopping spree. And then you've also got these very widespread issues that you can also solve. Dangerously Confident, for example. This is also another top funnel video, although it flopped pretty much because I guess the thumbnail and the title wasn't that really good. And then you've got videos that are like, again, appealing to a lot of people, like generally entrepreneurs, like how to make $15 million online in my 20s. There's no specific business model referenced here. There's nothing like that. It's specifically just how to make $15 million online. Now, next after that, what you want to do is you want to funnel people into middle of funnel videos. Middle of funnel videos are videos that are specifically related to your topic. So if you're selling AI automation, it should be videos that are kind of full courses on AI automation, right? So that's the best way I can kind of describe it, like full courses. So for example, from here, don't sell AI agents, sell AI operating systems instead. You'll also see, from here, from Alex Becker, $200 million CEO, shows how he'd make $10 million a year from zero in 2025, full blueprint. As you can see, full blueprint. Then blow up your business. This is a big thing. Again, sales system, very simple stuff. Everybody needs that. Then you've got brainwash them to buy, honest marketing lessons. Again, basic stuff, full courses on marketing and stuff like that. And then how I built this $20,000 award-winning website that transformed my client's business. Then you want to go ahead and move people into bottom of funnel once they've actually been you've got the eyeballs to the top of funnel. You've got the kind of people with brains and people who are really, really interested in what you sell, and those people to watch these middle of funnel videos and get educated a little bit, but now they're really in the weeds and they're like, okay, I need more help. So then you have the bottom of funnel videos, which is like videos that are about a specific topic within a niche. So cold outreach, for example, like let's say they go through AI automation and they're like, I want to get into cold outreach. How do I do that? Then they watch that video. If they have AI automation and they want to get some niches for AI automation, then bam, they check Clarence AI automations out, Then you've also got a video like this, which is like, AI makes $150,000 for my landscaping SMA clients. Kind of a breakdown / case study type thing as well, with a ton of social proof. This is also really, really good for conversions as well, especially for these like case study types of videos. And then you'll see over here, I tried selling AI and made 20K a month, case study. These case study videos are also really, really good bottom of funnel content, but I would also, again, also encourage you to make these valuable bottom of funnel videos as well. And in this case, value is the priority on YouTube. Nobody cares about anything else. If you do not provide value, there's no point in what you do. And actually, I almost forgot a little bit of a key point in William Brown's strategy. So it's called the Juxter effect, what he does. And the Juxter effect is basically, they see this thumbnail and they're like, okay, this guy seems like an idiot. Why is he making fun of himself? Why is he making a fool of himself? Why is he just posting such a crap video on the internet? And then they check the views and they're like, wait, how did I get that many views? Or even if it doesn't get views, they're like, okay, I'm intrigued. Let me kind of reinforce my initial expectations on what this video would look like. Then they check out the video. And the biggest, most important thing about the Juxter effect is that you want to give away as much value as physically possible within the first few seconds of the video, because that's the point where a person makes a decision of whether you're retarded or you actually know what you're talking about. Now, basically, we've already gone over the YouTube and the Juxter effect and how exactly we're going to do this, and we've dialed in your content. But now next is the actual market research. And this is one of the things that kind of differentiates me from literally everybody else with my clients and how my clients actually get results. So the market research is one of the most important parts, just because you need to, and just because a lot of people don't do it. And market research means talking to your ICP, which just means knowing what to sell and how. So you're basically asking people, hey, what do you want? And then you're just instantly giving them exactly what they want for a price. It's very, very simple. Just ask them what they want, and then you give them what they actually want. Now, obviously, it's not that simple, but as a high-level overview. So the main goal for market research is just get as much data as possible. You do not want to BS your way through this. You cannot do that. Because if you do that, if you go for, crappy data that you have from like a year ago, it's not going to be accurate, and the rest of your funnel, if you don't do this right, the rest of your entire funnel is basically useless because you're selling to the wrong people. So what's the point of creating the killer offer? Because a killer offer is only a killer offer to specific people. So basically in market research, talking to your ICP equals knowing what to actually sell and how. So the first step to do this is you want to go to Instagram and open your profile page and you want to click followers. That is your entire lead list. This is the set of warm leads, as we discussed before, that you know that, they know you, they like you, so you need to reach out to them specifically. Now, how you're going to do this from under 10K, if you're under 10K followers or 10K subscribers, what you want to do this with is DMs and calls. So you want to DM people, whoever's the most talkative and answers the most questions, those people should be hopped on calls because they actually have something to say. And then for 10K plus, you want to use just type forms and also calls because you just want to make sure that, and you want to have like a description question on the type form kind of, where they have to fill out, why should we select you, or not specifically that, but what would you want to improve? And the person who gives the most detailed response in that situation, those are the people who you're going to get on the actual calls, and you're going to be able to talk to them. And in this case, like, calls are absolutely number one, as I said here. So calls are the absolute number one because you can dive way deeper into their pain points on a call as opposed to the DMs or whatever your type form is, right? Just because of the nature of humans. Then on the actual strategy you want to use for your specific market research, depending on your platform, is you want to, for the Instagram, have stories, a type form. So you can have question stories where you're like, okay, what do you guys want from me? What kind of product would you guys be interested in? Would you be interested in this free community type thing? Then you want to go for type forms like, what could we improve about the product, etc., etc., etc. What do you want? Don't actually ask that, but you want to kind of ask it in a roundabout way with specific questions. We'll get into those in a second. Then there's also the Calendly, which, you can book in calls through there, and then the DMs, okay? Now DMs, of course, you just want to talk to them and get a few answers out of them, and you want to ask them deep questions. For YouTube, it's just Typeform and Calendly. For X, it's just Typeform and Calendly, and then for email, it's just Typeform and Calendly. Typeform and Calendly are the best combo. That's why I generally just like using Typeform and Calendly the most. So here you're going to see, for the specific questions you want to actually answer, and the pain points you want to go deep into, as I said before, for the calls, is you want to fill out a sheet something like this. You can screenshot this and pause the video if you want, but what you basically want to answer is the promise or the dreamland that they want to go to. Like, what's the problem? What's the journey of the potential clients? Where are they coming from? What's their problem list? What's their desired situation? And what is the gap and how they actually bridge it? What is your unique selling proposition and what is its details? Why should they believe you? Etc., etc., etc. I'm not going to go through all this, but you can go ahead and screenshot this, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You want to fill all of these out. Now, step 2 is to review every singular call, because you're going to be wasting time if you don't do this, and actually review them in detail so that you can get some accurate market research. And then you want to talk with current and previous clients. Now, how do you actually do this? Let's get into it. What to analyze from the actual calls? You want to analyze the biggest pain points, what they're actually feeling. What you can kind of infer this from, what the stories they tell you. For example, if they're like, I hate it that my parents don't support this, or my siblings don't support this, etc., etc. That can be a pain point as well. A lot for entrepreneurs as well. So common objections. So the way you would get this is you'd ask them, you'd go through your whole your pitch deck, and then you'd be like, would you buy this? And then they'll say yes, but, and then whatever they say after but, you write that down as an objection. Then you want to get info about your ICP, so their age, their location, etc., like that. You can get that from a very basic type form. Then you want to go for product shortcomings. Don't actually ask them what could we improve, blah, blah, blah. You want to ask them in a roundabout way, be like, what would you change if you had to change something? What would you make better if you had to make something better? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just because you want to get an actual good answer out of them. If you just give them, if you just ask them, hey, how was the product? They're going to be like, oh my God, it was amazing, blah, blah, blah. Just because they got the results, but you want to improve the product as well, not just inflate your own ego. So next is the desires. What do they actually desire? What are their wants? What do they need? Blah, blah, blah. What are their main bottlenecks? Why they got on the call, etc. Okay, this is the main stuff you want to follow. For what to talk to clients about, you want to just ask about, are they getting results? What do they like? What do they dislike about it? Do they enjoy the coaching and community? Do they find their product or the community or the coaching that you're using useful? What difference has it actually made in their lives? What would they change? Would they buy again, etc.? And then you want to make sure to keep your objective top of mind, okay? So keep your objective absolutely top of mind. You want to understand your ICP better than they understand themselves. You want to deeply understand their goals, desires, pain points, etc. You want to understand how to speak to them to get them to buy, for copywriting specifically. You also want to understand why and what they buy, and you want to craft the perfect product and a unique selling proposition for them by doing exactly what they tell you to do, or tell you that they want you to do. It's very, very basic stuff, guys. It's not rocket science. And just the main thing I would tell you guys is just don't try to be cute, which means because cute does not make money, which just means don't try to get some novel way of being like, oh my god, this is probably what my ICP wants. There's no probably within market research. You just go in, you ask them what the hell they want, and then you just deliver that exact thing, because if there's no demand for a product, no matter how good the product is, it's just not going to sell at all. It's not going to fly off the shelves. That's the basic tenet of how you're going to work with a lot of these products. Now, you've gotten the market research, you know exactly who your ICP is, you've done the content optimization, you've optimized all your content. Now, next is the actual offer creation. Now, offer creation is number one out of every funnel step in general. Obviously, before this, if you fumble the market research or if you fumble content optimization, it's going to mess up a little bit, but this is overall number one in the whole offer creation process, or the whole funnel creation process for a coaching business, just because a lot of people don't know how to do this. And also it's a really, really easy bottleneck to fix, because if you 2 to 3x your offer, it'll 2 to 3x everything in your funnel, including your profit. It's a very high leverage thing. And I've kind of numbered these things from highest leverage to lowest leverage. So content is the highest leverage thing you can do. If you get more eyeballs, no matter how bad you are at conversions, you're going to get more sales. If you do good market research, you're actually going to be able to create an offer and actually be able to create a funnel. If you don't have market research, then obviously you can't do anything after this. And if you don't have an offer, you can't do anything after this, right? That's why we are going to be going over the offer creation next. So just to go ahead and give you some context, this is what a good offer looks like. So good offer looks like this. You give this much money and you get this much out. Pretty self-explanatory. A bad offer is the absolute inverse. You put this much money into a bad offer and you get this much out. Pretty exaggerated, but it's actually quite accurate. This is exactly what a bad offer looks like, and this is exactly what a good offer looks like. But there's a problem. Good offers are quite hard to make. So you can go ahead and follow this exact framework that I've used for almost all of my clients that creates the best killer offer every singular time. So now all of this kind of comes back down to Alex Hormozi's value equation. So there's the dream outcome on top, the perceived likelihood of achievement. So dream outcome is what they really want. Perceived likelihood of achievement is how likely it is that they'll get it. Time delay, and then at the bottom divided by time delay and effort and sacrifice. So time delay is how long it'll take, and effort and sacrifice is how hard it feels. So this is actually something a lot of people mess up on. Effort and sacrifice is not objectively something, right? So a lot of people will like going to the gym. A lot of people hate going to the gym. So it's subjective to the specific person that you're selling to. So you have to know this from your ICP and your market research that we did previously. So how hard it actually feels, not just how hard most people think it feels, how hard your specific ICP think it feels, okay? And the basic tenet of all of this is you want to make this part bigger and you want to make this lower part smaller. Very basic stuff, but this is kind of the high level overview of what an offer is created by. So step one for offer creation is the quantifiable end result. What is the exact result that they can actually point to? Make it something that is objective, something like a revenue number or on a dashboard or a weight number on a scale. Something that you can point at and be like, okay, I can 3x that specific number within that specific amount of time. Next is the timeline. How long will it take for them to achieve the specific result? Make this as short as physically possible so you can sell the same thing for more, just because you are doing it faster. An example of this would be for weight loss and just like working out in general, right? It's a very widely spread culture, but a lot of people really don't like working out. A lot of people really don't like dieting. And also it's a very, very long timeline that they have to wait to see results. So that's why you can get fat loss surgery for a few $1,000s instead of just dieting for literally completely free, basically. That's why people actually go for that, just because of the actual time delay. Next is the niche. So who exactly are you selling to? This is kind of like what your market research is. This is kind of a part of your market research, but it's pretty important for offers as well. So I put it in here as well. Pick your niche and actually stick to it. Do not just pivot in between. So if you're selling to coaches, if you're selling to consultants, stick to that specific niche. For example, what I'm doing, link down below. Don't get distracted and do not get greedy at all. Quality over quantity of the actual leads that you have, because if you have a few really good leads, it's way more better or way more profitable than having a ton of garbage leads in your pipeline. That's why all of these huge people, they don't make proportionally more money. For example, somebody who's at 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers, it's possible for them to even hit 100K per month just by implementing this exact system that I'm telling you right now, because the returns, when you get larger and larger and larger, it results in you being less focused in on your niche, which again means that you will make less money per person in your following. Hope that was easy to understand. So for risk reversal, next is how much of the risk will you actually take away from the prospect. You want to take on as much risk as physically possible, while obviously still protecting yourself. You do not want to be an idiot. You don't want to be like, oh, no matter what, if you don't, even if you don't show up for the calls, even if you don't do any of that crap, we're going to give you your money back for completely free. So that you can actually, you don't want to do that. So this is just because you can sell the same thing for more time, for more times and for more money just by changing this one thing, having a risk reversal. Because if you have a risk reversal, if you're like, I'm going to make you $10,000, if I don't make you $10,000, I'm not going to get paid. And you actually make them believe that, which is another whole nother part of the offer, which we're going to get into, then that is going to be a killer offer right there. Then there's also the unique selling proposition. Why should they buy from you? Why are you actually different? This is this is like the big daddy of all of these things, okay? Flesh this out as much as physically possible and spend 60% of your time on this minimum. This is the most important component of the offer creation process, just because it's the main thing that's going to differentiate you from all the hundreds and hordes of other people in your market. Next is the actual step 2, which is the offer statement and the power offer. We're going to get into the power offer in a second. So offer statement, very basic stuff. You just want to fill this exact statement out. I help a niche do goal/end result in the time frame that you have using the USP name, unique selling proposition name, without pain point X, Y, and Z, and also the risk reversal that you're offering. Next is your power offer or your closing offer, which, as you can see, the title. Then you want to be like community products as following members. This one's for you. I've been watching some of you absolutely crush it with the strategies from offer feature 1 and offer feature 2. You're not just implementing, you're innovating, taking what I teach and making it your own. By the way, this power offer is basically the offer that you're going to post into every singular group, every single community, wherever you're trying to sell people on your new product. That is where you're going to post this power offer. And this is the main thing that you're going to use for, sales pages, sales, anything related to sales. You're going to use the specific power offer for it. Then I keep getting the same DM name. This is all great, but I need you to look at my specific situation. I need direct feedback on my X, my Y, my Z. So if you can actually just replace these with specific pain points that your audience has, like my coding or my trading or whatever. I get it. Main product features are powerful. So you want to go over the main product features of the thing that you're upselling from. For example, if you're upselling from your content, you're like, oh, my content is really, really powerful, but sometimes you need somebody to sit down with your business and tell you exactly what to fix. That's why I opened up a program. This isn't just another course. This isn't group coaching. This is me personally working with a handful of ICP who are ready to go from doing well to holy shit, this actually worked. So ICP is ideal customer profile, and you just want to use the name that your customers call themselves. So if you're selling to traders, you want to call them a small group of traders, Then here's what program actually is. Go over the key selling points for about this long. So you want to make this part about this long. Then you want to go for the catch. I only work with people with X people at a time, building a little bit of urgency. I'm not taking applications from everybody. This is exclusively for X members who are already implementing and seeing results. Why? Because I don't have time to teach you the basics. The fundamentals, you already learned those in community /products/following, etc. Now we optimize, now we scale, now we turn your, what you're coaching. So that would be, if you're coaching trading, now we turn your trading into serious money. Last quarter, my program clients finally broke through X, grew by Y, did Z, etc. But here's the actual reality check. This isn't for everybody in the community product/following. For the ICP, we're done playing small. If you're still figuring out your niche or asking basic strategy questions, stay in the community product/following for the next few months. If you're ready to have somebody who's social proof, main amount of social proof that you have, personally guide your growth, apply for the program. And the reason this is blue, this is just an actual link that you want. Fair warning, application asks real questions, etc., etc., etc. This is for ICP. We're serious about going from good to exceptional. Again, CTA, only this amount of spots open this month. One more thing, I've never offered this level access before, my X, Y, and Z. So what you're actually offering, for example, if it's a one-on-one coaching, you could say my calls, my time, my personal phone number, etc. If you're not ready to invest at this level and actually implement what I tell you, don't waste either of our time. But if you are, this is how you skip years of trial and error. Very, very simple stuff. You want to make it about this long, and this is exactly basically what you're going to copy paste into every single sales document or sales argument that you have in your community, in your stories, whatever, right? Then we have the product creation. And the reason I put this into the offer creation section is because the offer and the product are quite the same, kind of. Like the product and the offer are very, very intertwined. So I was just like, let's just add it into this part. But this is a really, really important thing. So I'm going to go over a few of the basic info, business models that you can go for. And I'm going to break down exactly what you can sell them for, how long it should be, all that jazz, how you're going to structure them, everything. So one-on-one coaching, you want to have 10 to 15 clients for this, $3,000 to $10,000 a month, or sorry, $3,000 to $10,000 in general. It should be about 30 to 120 days. There should be weekly one-on-one calls along with optional, just like texts, or you can also give them a specific community that they can join for people who are in your one-on-one coaching, like a WAP community, whatever, that will allow for one-on-one contact between you. Then there's one-to-many coaching. 10 to 30 clients, you can have $1,000 to $5,000. It should be 30 to 120 days. There should be a weekly one-to-many calls. Then you can also have private group chats and also communities. Then you can have the pre-recorded foundations, just so people aren't asking you dumb questions that, you know, can easily be answered on the calls and wasting your time. Then the monthly one-on-one call. This is optional. You can add this. I would highly recommend adding this just to make it more likely that people get results. But if you really don't want to add this, it's kind of optional. Then there's the inner circle type thing, which is, you know, 20 to 100 clients. You can have $3,000 to $6,000 one time. It should be a private community, weekly group calls, bi-weekly team coaching calls. So that would be every 2 weeks. And then you can also have in-person masterminds. These are optional, obviously. But inner circle, obviously, this is going to be about 6 months, just around about that. You can call it. And then they get that much access to it. They can re-fulfill it every 3 to 6 months, basically. They can keep paying again and again for it. This is a pretty good deal for an inner circle. Just generally, if you have in-person masterminds, you're going to be able to jack up the price way more. If not, you can keep it pretty low. And then you also have the course, which I'm not going to be talking about a generic course, which you just sell a course with infinite calls, which is just the worst business model you can possibly do, in my opinion. It's the worst info business model, basically. And for this, you can have infinite clients. You can have $500 to $2,000. It should be lifetime, and it should be connected to a community. So you get a 2 to 6 month community package where you can join the community and you can get the community calls within the package, along with the the full pre-recorded course. This is mostly beginner targeted, but the reason that I like doing it this way is because they lose access to the community after like 2 to 6 months, but they keep the course forever. Just so you can get them to pay way more because they also get access to the community, and also you can keep upselling them into monthly recurring revenue and actually make money off of the same people that are already in your audience and the people you've already sold, which is going to make your life way, way easier. Then there's the community with infinite clients. It's about $25 to $500 a month, anywhere in between that range. It can be even higher. All of these can be even higher. It just has to depend on how big your personal brand is. For example, if Iman had something like this, it would be probably quite a bit higher. Then there's private community, weekly, monthly group calls. There should be pre-recorded course modules. There should also be special news and behind the scenes, as well as the people inside being the main asset. So you want to kind of gatekeep this a little bit just to make sure that you have good quality people. That's why I recommend at least $100 a month for any kind of community, just because that'll keep the quality of people inside very, very high, instead of just having people paying like $20 a month in there. Now, for hosting of all of this, all of these business models, whichever one you choose, there's a few platforms you want to choose between. There's, of course, the fight between WAP and School, which I'm going to get into why I would pick one of these over the other, etc. in a second. Then there's Google Meet, and then there's Discord. We'll get into all this. First of all, why I like WAP. I actually use this for my clients just because I mostly like the course hosting a lot. I like the UI a ton. It also has really, really good support. It also has a ton of pre-built apps, which is one of the biggest things. Like, you can get something up and running within a few days just because of the sheer amount of pre-built apps that you can just plug in. With School, you are very kind of limited, right, with the scope of things that you could do. With WAP, you have a lot more functionality, and of course, WAP is completely free. As you can see, this is a quick image from what WAP would look like on the inside. Then you also see with School, this is what it kind of looks like. I like the UI of School, but I like the UI of WAP in general more. I do really like the forums UI within the communities of School. I really, really do like that. So I mean, you can actually, there's an interesting thing that you can do here where you can kind of use an AI to make an iframe that you can put into WAP, but that's very complicated. Obviously, I do that for my clients, but you can have something like that set up where you can make WAP more like School just because of how customizable it is. But the reason I like School is just the community features, the auxiliary features like the level ups and how you can unlock things specifically about how active you are. I really like those features. And then there's also way less updates. So because WAP is so new and Iman just got into it recently, there's a lot of changes that are going on. So it is kind of jarring when you need support for WAP, but in School, you're just going to need less support overall because you can easily find tutorials that are like a year old and they'll be very, very up to date. Then there's also a clean landing page on School. In my opinion, the landing page is just a bit cleaner just because it has less information. In some people's opinions, that would be worse, but in my own opinion, it just seems cleaner. And then, of course, it's paid at $100 a month, though that's not a really big thing, but it's something to consider. Since you're selling like $2,000 coaching, it's really not that much. But it's up to you guys, whichever one you want to host or use for hosting. I personally like using WAP a lot of the time just because of all of the things I said before, but School is also a really, really good option. Either way, it doesn't really matter too much. And then there's also Google Meet for group and one-on-one calls. I really hate Zoom, to be honest, because a lot of people don't have Zoom. Then they have to download Zoom and all that. With the Google Meet, it's way easier. You just give them a link and then they just get in there instantly. And then for community, you can use Discord. I like using the onboard communities, especially if I'm using School. I like using the onboard communities within these two platforms, but WAP has really good integration with Discord, which is another huge thing with WAP. It has really good integrations as well. But yeah, again, another talking point for WAP. I don't really like using Discord communities too much. I like using the onboard communities in either one of these apps, but it's a really good option for anybody who wants to go into that route. So we've gotten the offer creation done. We've made our whole entire product. How do we actually sell it now? That's going to be done through the funnel creation. In funnel creation, quality is way over quantity. Just like we did before with the offer or like, you know, the niche, you want a high quality of leads with fewer qualified leads, and it's way better than having lots of unqualified leads. Okay, so fewer qualified leads are way better than having lots of unqualified leads. Now, at this point, you know exactly what your audience likes, what they dislike, what their desires are, and how exactly to sell to them. And you just crafted a killer offer that fulfills all of the above criteria that your ICP has. But you now need to make them educated buyers, which a lot of people want to be educated buyers in this day and age, which just means that you need to spam social proof in their face and then sell to them. The system you use to do this is called a funnel, as you can see right here. Your funnel is actually the crux of your business. So if you mess up here, you reduce all of your filming, scripting, editing, recording, organizing, uploading, etc. to absolutely nothing. So you just reduced everything we did previously in this funnel breakdown to nothing if you cannot create a good funnel. This is the crux of your business. So you want to go ahead and copy this exact strategy so that never ever happens. So I'll go ahead and break down. I've like put all of the most common funnel types and the most popular ones that I've seen recently onto this board in detail, and I've basically broken all of them down. So first of all, the webinar funnel, it's mostly hyping up a specific offer, and it has like a buy now CTA at the end of the webinar, and the pros here are thousands can absolutely attend. It can be used for offers even up to $1,500 without sales calls. So the sales is really, really easy to do with webinars. If they're manual, if they're automatic, I'd say maybe around the $1,000 range you will, you know, cap. But again, automated webinars are very difficult to get into. I will get into that in a second. And then of course, these have very, very high conversion rates, especially when they're manual. The cons to this are that they're very difficult to automate profitably because you have to have like the perfect normal webinar to have a good automated webinar. So you always will be stuck, even if you have a really good manual webinar, you'll always be stuck with a decent automatic webinar just because of the nature of automation for webinars. It also needs weekly preparation for an actual good cadence, and it's also not very time efficient for smaller offers. It also, again, it needs expertise to get meaningful conversions. So I would not recommend this for people who are just starting out with this stuff. I definitely recommend something more like a VSL funnel, something a bit easier, a bit low risk, like maybe an ebook funnel or a lead magnet funnel. And then there's the big daddy of every funnel, which is just the VSL funnel. Everybody knows about this. This is like the godfather of funnels. Nearly everybody uses this. Again, very basic stuff. The way you want to go about this is there's like a page that makes you opt in. So you click on the video that makes you opt in. You give the full name, email, phone. Then you go into the actual VSL and then a type form. So as you can see, attention grabbing headline. This is the most important part of the actual landing page. Video to explain the product and service. Then you want to dive into pain points. You want to fish out the deep desires and then a CTA at the end. You then also want a button to join and then a wall of social proof, and you want to make sure you have buttons in between. Instead of just having walls of social proof with no buttons, you want to have CTAs regularly in between the walls of social proof. Now, the pros for this are that there's no limit on lead flow. It's very, very time efficient because you just make it once and it's gone. It's very easy to track with metrics, especially if you're using a good provider like Go High Level or Lead Pages or whatever. Leads are very, very familiar with it, and it's very, very easy to automate. Next are the cons. The cons are that it's pretty average conversion rates just because of the nature. Again, it cannot be tailored to the prospect in real time, which is one of the biggest reasons why its conversion rates are so low. And it cannot sell offers over $500 without sales calls. And those are the main three cons. Obviously, the pros outweigh the cons for this specific VSL funnel, but I'll get into which funnels to use specifically in a second. Next is the actual ebook funnel. Now, for the ebook funnel, it's very self-explanatory. Checkout page and like a landing page into a checkout page. Very simple stuff. It should be a simple ebook page, kind of hyping up the offer, a checkout page, and then emails and the other funnels basically do the rest of the work. It can be anywhere from free all the way to like, I mean, if it was free, it would be more of a lead magnet, but it can be anywhere from like $1 all the way to like 30, 40 bucks, right? For these, I'd say 20 would be the maximum you want to sell the ebook for, in my own opinion, just because it's very difficult to sell an ebook for any more than that. The pros for this are that there's a one-time cost for long-term returns. There's also infinite stock, and it's a very good entry-level offer for ascension funnels. It's also a very, very cheap product, so it's easier to sell. But the cons are that there's virtually no revenue at all. It needs upsells to be profitable, and if the ebook is bad, the customer is instantly lost out of your funnel, and they will not buy anything else. So you want to make sure the ebook is good if you're going to go for this kind of funnel. Next is the actual free community funnel, which is kind of like a better ebook funnel, you could say, in a way. There'll be a basic landing page with social proof and then a link to join the community. Basic sales page, community invite page. The upsells are mainly performed within the community. And the pros for this are that it is like almost free to create. There's infinite stock. It's the best entry-level offer, hands down, for ascension funnels. It's a huge pool of your ICP, very good for market research and upselling. It's very highly scalable, and it's got really good conversion rates, and it's very good at nurturing. That's why I really like this funnel, just because it has really big pros and very few cons in general. I do like using this funnel a lot of the time for Instagram-only funnels. Free community funnels, in my opinion, are really, really good for that. The cons are there's no instant payout when somebody joins, obviously. It also needs upsells to be profitable, but obviously that's with every funnel. To a point, to a degree. If you want to be really profitable, you need upsells for making more and more money, upping the average order value. But again, it needs upsells to be profitable, unlike mentorships and stuff like that. The community can also be easily overrun, and the bad management can result in pretty bad reputation if done wrong. Now, next is the last funnel, which is the lead magnet funnel. A very basic stuff, simple landing page, a form on the landing page, and then the emails and the other funnels do the rest of the work. It's completely free, and so the pros are that it gets emails like hotcakes. It's insane if you actually have a good offer. The emails also have a decent conversion rate, and it's pretty easy to create, and it's very scalable. Cons are that there is no instant profit. It also needs upsells to be profitable, and a bad lead magnet can reduce overall conversions. And of course, it does attract freebie seekers just because it's free, which may result in lower overall conversion rates within your funnel. Now, you do not want to pick a random funnel. Do not just pick a random ass funnel that you like the look of. You want to make a calculated decision, only if you like making money, of course. If you don't worry about that. You don't even need to watch this video anymore. But of course, if you like making money and you like helping people, make a calculated decision, because if people don't buy, you can't make money and you can't help them. Next is you want to basically just ask yourself the following, okay? Where is the traffic coming from? Okay, are my leads cold or warm? How transparent am I with what I sell? Can they achieve the initial results alone? Do they have time to spend? Do they have money to spend? And that's it. You want to pause the video here. That's what I tell you. Just pause the video here and answer these questions. Actually pause it. The people who are going to be able to implement this funnel, don't just try to watch this video for entertainment. Pause the video. Get out like the closest thing you can write on, even if it's a tissue paper. Just write this down. Answer these questions. Now then, you're going to use the following funnels based on your answers. If people are from YouTube with plenty of spare time, they're warm leads, it's the first launch, and they can make it alone, you want to go for a webinar, lead magnet, VSL, or ebook funnel. If they're on IG, if not everybody knows you, you're not pushing your product, results can be achieved alone, and they also have a lot of spare time, then you want to go for either a lead magnet or a free community. Again, free community comes back here. It's just really good at nurturing in general, so that's why I like it for Instagram funnels a lot. Traffic from every platform, not much spare time, not everyone knows me, public product, hard to achieve alone. Then you want to go for a VSL, lead magnet, or ebook funnel. The reason I wouldn't go for a free community here is just because they don't have a lot of spare time, so it's going to be completely dead, which is going to be very, very bad for your outlook and your public brand. Now, no best funnel really exists. Just being utterly honest, no best funnel exists, and I can't give you one. right now unless I know all of the things about your offer and the details, which you can go ahead and do by booking a call with me down below, the first link in the description. So you want to go ahead and just use one that works for you. For example, and like actually for hosting these funnels and lead magnets or whatever, you can use one of three main softwares. There's Go High Level, there's ClickFunnels, and then there's Webinar Jam. I personally really like using Go High Level. I use Go High Level for all of my clients. It works really well, and it has a CRM, and it's about $100 a month. Has CRM, has the landing page design, has email marketing, it has literally everything. But for ClickFunnels that's specialized specifically for funnels, it's again $100 a month. I don't really use ClickFunnels at all for my clients. I just really like using Go High Level in general because I feel like it just does everything and it makes it very streamlined. It also has really good integrations. Next is Webinar Jam. This is only useful for webinars. Do not use it for anything else. The only time you want to use Webinar Jam is only for webinars specifically. Now, we've gone over the entire funnel creation process. Okay, so we've got the funnel, we've got the offer, we've got the market research, we got the content optimization, everything's done. Now we are ready to actually launch. Now, how are we going to prepare for this launch? First thing, the first priority is hype generation. Because an excited audience equals more money that they're willing to spend. If you have a product, stop selling it now. Take time to create a huge launch that will break any revenue records that you had before. So a little bit of a graph for you guys to understand this a little bit easier. This is hype on the left side here. This is time over here. As you spend more time hyping up the launch, the hype keeps going up and up and up and up. Okay, so you want to spend as much time hyping it up as possible. And then at the end, you want to cash out big. And then at that point, the hype is going to go all the way down. And you want to kind of repeat this process again and again and again. Very, very simple stuff for specifically launches. Now, the step one to do this is pre-launch. For pre-launch, on day one, you want to post an Instagram reel, and you want to also post an Instagram story. Next, you want to change all of the YouTube video descriptions to link to your specific offer or hype it up, kind of. Then you want to also change all the Discord and school announcements. You want to send them all out right away using the closing offer / power offer that we discussed earlier over here. Then you want to also send out story sequences to your people on IG, just as we discussed earlier with Iman. Exactly this kind of thing with lifestyle stories, with the actual story sequences as well. And then you want to have the CTA. All of these are funneling to the email CTA, which is just trying to get people into your email list. On day 2 to 5, you'll have daily stories, 2 to 4 lifestyle, and then 1 to 2 of them should be educational. All of them, again, CTAing to the emails. Daily educational reels and a CTA. Daily educational emails and a WhatsApp plus CTA. And then, of course, daily Discord reminders to actually read the emails or WhatsApp or whatever you're using for marketing. Okay, and all of these are funneling straight into emails and getting them to get into those email lists so you can finally hype that launch up through the emails. Now, step 2 is launch. The day one you want to do is Instagram story sequence. You want to post one of these, okay? Then you want to post an Instagram power offer reel, just a real form of your power offer. Then you want to have another Discord or community closing offer post if you have it, and you want to send out massive email blasts as fast as possible. You also want to have a undercover YouTube video posted right away on a Premiere. So you want to use a Premiere for this. It should be a VSL, and you want to edit all the social media bios and video descriptions. All of this is funneling into your funnel, okay? Your landing page, your VSL funnel, your webinar, whatever it is. It's all going into that. Now, day 2 to 4, you want to go to the Instagram story sequence. You want to post another one of these. You also want to post Instagram power offer reels basically daily or every other day at least if you want to be a little bit conservative. Then you also want to post a Discord or community closing offer post. The dialer will then book appointments. You also want to send out huge email blast and also daily Discord reminders to read emails and WhatsApp, okay? All of these are funneling again straight into the funnel that you've built. Now, for specifically the emails, how are you going to structure these? So for emails, day one is going to be pre-launch. You want to test the email list and ask the subscribers to respond to make sure that, are these guys alive or not? You just want them to respond. You can literally have the most basic ass email. It really does not matter. Quick question, Kamil. Yo, Kamil here. Curious, what's your biggest motivation for entering the X? Just hit reply and let me know. I'll even send you an email with tips to maximize your chances of winning once you reply. You also want to kind of give a bit of a reward if they actually reply, just because you'll get more replies that way from people who actually are on your email list. You want to then track the percentage of those people. If people don't reply, then you want to give them different emails. If they do, give them different emails with a different cadence. Then there's day 2, pre-launch. You want to make people aware of the launch. And the way you do this is, action needed, welcome to the challenge. Hey, welcome to the X. If the name sounds simple, it's because it is. Making money online. Not in theory, not someday. At the end of this challenge, you'll know X. Here's what you need to do now, and the 2 basic things that they need to go ahead and do right now. And this is mainly going to be adding the event to your calendar. If it's like a webinar, whatever. If it's a call, again, add the event to your calendar. And then you can also get them to join some kind of group, community, whatever you want to do with that, just to nurture them more. Then next is going to be the day 3 pre-launch, which is going to be the personal story. So you want to post a personal story, for example, right here. Did I learn this hard way? My first attempt of e-commerce, lost this much money, lost this much money, blah, 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 blah. Explaining that you lost so much money and you were in their same situation. And now you're basically coming back and being like, oh, I'm going to, help you and save you from going through all that pain by, using this exact story and teaching you exactly what went wrong and what you should have done instead to avoid all of the pain, which is just going to build a little bit of relatability and of course is going to build a ton of nurturing and trust. Then there's the pre-launch day 4, case study and social proof emails. Now after this is basically what you want to do, a ton of screenshots, case studies, blah, 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 blah. If you want to upsell, you can also use that for upselling. And there's the day 5, which is the launch email and the closing offer plus the CTA. Basic stuff. Your invitation expires in X amount of time, blah, blah, blah. It's happening in 3 hours. It's happening in this many hours. It's launched, the closing. Then you want to just go through the entire closing offer just to make people buy, as we did before over here. And you want to go over this whole offer just to make sure that people buy through in this email. Now for actual Discord, school, WAP, obviously a lot of you guys might not know exactly how to structure this. So we're going to go into this as well. Day 1 is going to be the pre-launch, first community power offer, and the teaser for the actual product or launch. And then you want to go for the day 2, which is going to be engaging as much as possible with everybody. The more you engage, the actual more people will be active for the launch, just because the more you engage in a community, the more people are going to be like, oh, I'm going to be actually active in this community because I have a chance to talk to the person who is going to help me with my business or whatever, help me with the X. And then there's day 3, the final power offer plus maximal hype. You don't want to add any extra. You can also add any extra like calls or videos just to, promote the offer. You can do this. This is optional, but it does have a pretty big effect in my personal testing, but it's pretty optional. I would say, you don't need to do this. Then there's day 4, pre-launch. You want to engage with every singular post. You want to get everybody you engage with on a call. The more you engage here, the more calls you book, the more money you will make. So this is the most important part of that pre-launch. Now, for free communities, they'll be less committed, obviously, but if people have already paid for the low-ticket offer such community and found value, don't overthink it. Just keep things simple and send them. This can work for any platform. Just make like a few small changes to optimize it for that specifically, okay? That's all you really need to do. Next is the YouTube and exactly what you're going to do with the YouTube. So for day 1, you want to announce the actual event within the community tab, which is just a feature on YouTube. You would then want to schedule a premiere and make people turn on notifications. And this can be done. This is going to be done through emails and also YouTube notifications. So they'll turn on their YouTube notification, and then you also get them on a separate email list. So you can email them separately for the specific launch and the premiere as well to get them to actually watch. And then there's the day 3. You want to go live and push traffic to the actual landing page. Traffic from YouTube is very, very easy to convert since it's very warm and they actually have brain cells, unlike people scrolling on TikTok or Instagram. This premiere is actually the VSL, so make sure to be active in chat. Just show like some love and direct traffic to the funnel. Keep on being like, oh my God, love that, blah, 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 go to this, go with this, try to promote the funnel and try to keep the audience engaged so that they keep watching through the VSL and go to the funnel. And you also want to make sure, obviously, that the VSL part is undercover. Don't show it as a VSL, show it as like big value for the launch or whatever. Now, after the launch, you just want to redirect people to the funnel and get them on a call. If your offer is under 1K, you can just send them to like a payment link or something. You don't need to overthink it. I would say, 1K is a bit much. I'd say like 500. If your offer is like 500, then just send them to a payment link or something. You don't need to overthink this too much. The main goals here are just to drive as much traffic as possible to the landing page, get as many leads and book as many calls as physically possible. Maximize email collection for any future campaigns that you're going to do. Get people talking in general, and this is actually how the market will get in contact with the supply. Now, at this point, we're done with the launch, okay? We've prepared for the launch and everything. We've got a ton of booked calls in the pipeline. How are we going to sell them? So in this case, you want to use every singular lead. So your job is still not done, okay? This is the single biggest bottleneck info businesses face, which is sales and thinking that their job is done. Why? Because they think that the lead is already sold on showing up, buying, being interested, or giving them money. But no, you got to understand that once this lead has booked a call with you, they hate you basically. They absolutely despise you. They will look at any event on their calendar, even the lowest priority event, they will easily replace your webinar or whatever with that event. You want to treat them almost like that, basically. Okay? And so the way you can get the most out of every single lead that enters the funnel, you want to follow this exact strategy. If you already have a sales team, breathe, okay? Relax. Just take time to review the sales calls, manage the KPIs, go through the training, and use this information to improve. If not, it's time to create your money-making machine. So at this point, the warm leads have scheduled sales calls, but they aren't actually ready for the calls yet. So this is what we're going to do to avoid that. Now, before I get into all of that, let's go into the pre-call asset creation, just so you know exactly how to create all these pre-call assets that I'm going to talk about in a second. So what the main goal for these pre-call assets is to get the people to the call as educated and aware as possible, respond to common questions and objections. If you don't tell your prospects about your product or service and position it in a good light, they're going to find out another place with information that could be very bad for business. Very likely. This is very likely, by the way, in the actual info space, just because of the way the space works. You want to go over FAQs. You can have specific deep dives into common objections. This is going to be the vast majority of your emails and everything. Specific deep dives into common objections, like 3 or 4 every single email. You will crush that call with your sales guys, man. Easy. Story, my transformation videos. This is just to get people to know a little bit more about you. Case studies and testimonials, and valuable videos that aren't found on social medias. This is very important, by the way, for B2B. If you're doing B2B, very, very highly important for B2B customers. Including these deep dives into common objections. Like, this is generally important. This is very important specifically for B2B. Then there's student interviews, and of course you want to spam a ton of wins. Those are very important as well. Now for pre-call VSL creation, you want to just go over the offer. You want to go over how it can help, why it's special, what you learn, modules, screenshots, live call clips, and you just want to educate the people around the service. You want to go over who you are, what to expect, who this is for, who this isn't for, specify what you do and how it works, and you want to set expectations. Then you just want to sign off. Very, very basic stuff. You can screenshot this if you want, just to follow this for your own VSL, pre-call VSL. This is not the VSL on your landing page, by the way. This is a VSL that you send specifically to people who have already booked a call, just to sell them on showing up, okay? Now, next, you want to go over the call booked. Okay, so when the call's booked, there's 2 things that are going to happen. First, automatically, and then also setters and closers will do things. Let's go over automatically first. There's going to be a page redirect with a thank you video that confirms the call and says, go to the inbox. There's going to be mail confirmation. This tells the lead to add the event to the calendar, and the link to pre-call asset 1, which is the pre-call VSL. Then you also want to go over a video with you introducing the closer and how you met, reassuring the lead. And then you want to go over email and SMS reminders, plus testimonials, and also link to pre-call asset number 2, which could be an objection handle, whatever you choose to, for it to be. Email and SMS reminder, again, testimonials, and link to pre-call asset 3. Email and SMS reminder, testimonials, link to pre-call asset 4. Again, repeat this. 1 hour before the call, you want to stop sending them pre-call assets and testimonials. After this, you just want to send them email and SMS reminders. And then, of course, 5 minutes before the call, you want to send the link. For setters and closers, they want to immediately qualify the prospect by confirming over the phone. You can just get a dialer to do this by like 2 to 5% of your average order. Like, if somebody buys this product, you get 5% or 2% if you dial all of these people that hop on and confirm the call with them. The setter then creates a WhatsApp group chat with the lead, you, and the closer. Then you want to also send a message with a VSL, which is going to be, again, the pre-call VSL. The closer then talks with the lead, the whole introduction and everything. The setter then sends the reminder for the call on WhatsApp and IG, including pre-call asset number 2. This asset will be different from the pre-call asset number 2 over here. Okay, you want to make sure that that's different. All right. Setter sends another reminder for the call on WhatsApp and pre-call asset number 3. Also, you want to make sure that the value posts are going to be actually by the setter, just because that's going to build a ton of rapport with the closer and the setter. If you give value with the setter and closer, and then just give the objection handles and all that crap with the automated stuff. I know it's a small thing, but that's really, really important for what you want to go ahead and do and get them to show up on the call, just because it's going to make it way more likely that they close. Then 1 hour before the call, the setter sends a reminder for the call on WhatsApp and IG, and then the setter again sends the reminder for the call and link on WhatsApp and IG. So if they give you contact info at this point, you cannot waste it. If the call was not booked, you want to give them a 7-day email sequence before they get into the newsletter. And then you want to give them a value email, a sales email, a testimonial email. You want to give them a sales email, and then your transformation/story email. Then you want to go into another sales email and then push them into your main newsletter. Okay. After this, the manual actions are that you want to have a dialer on deck. So he's going to go and dial these people like within 5 minutes. If they're booked, sorry, not within 5 minutes, but within about 5 minutes of getting the notification. So you can set up a workflow that waits for 20 minutes to send a notification to your dialer. This can be easily done through Go High Level. And then the dialer can, instantly when that notification comes in, call that person 20 minutes later. Because if they didn't buy or book after 20 minutes, like obviously they're not going to do it. So that's why it's just better to call them after 20 minutes. If they're booked, do not dial them twice from here. Qualify them on this actual original call. A lot of people do this. Do not dial them again and again. This can be annoying as all hell. And it's more chances for them to say no. If they're a non-responder, you want to text them, and then you want to dial them again, and you want to text them again, and then you want to repeat this 4 to 5 times over the next few days. And I know all of this sounds like an absolute insane amount, but this is what it takes to get those 90, 84, like 85% show up rates that you see with all of these people that are huge on TikTok and Instagram, whatever. Like those show up rates are only going to be done through having a killer pre-call process. Now, after this, you want to track everything, okay? You cannot improve what you do not know is lacking. So the key metrics to track are conversion rates, show-up rates, average order value, the calls booked, the pre-call assets consumed, the dials made, and the follow-up sent. You can track all this within like Excel if you would prefer, or Google Sheets. I personally like using Google Sheets more because it's just easier to use instead of paying for Microsoft Office and everything like that. For KPIs and specific goals you want to hit, is just getting as many sales as physically possible. Along with that, an over 50% close rate depending on where the traffic is coming from, and an over 50% show rate minimum. If it's any lower than that, I'm sorry, but you've done something very wrong with what I've told you right here. Very, very, very wrong. It has to be over 50% minimum. Do not waste leads, build trust fast, and how the market actually receives the supply. So this is how they get the supply, okay? And by the way, the show rate, if you're like, the only way you get show rates that are like less than 50% is if you're selling to cold traffic. And at that point, like, I don't know what you want from me. If you're selling to cold traffic, that's going to be a pretty decent show rate, I guess. But if you're selling to warm traffic, there is no way you get any less than 50% show rates with this funnel. No way. Now, okay, we've gotten the sales dialed, okay? We've got the sales dialed, everything like that. The last part of this entire thing is just the onboarding and fulfillment, so we are not scammers. Instead, we actually get them the results that we give them. You want to make everyone feel special for onboarding. This is where most people actually start to experience buyer's regret. And so regret equals refunds, which are very, very bad. And that's why you need to give away a ton of value as fast as possible. I recommend getting a CSM or like investing in some extra time into these customers, since they're the most likely to refund or leave a bad review just in general. Now, okay, let's go over the entire flow of how you would do this, okay? The call is closed and the payment's completed, okay? The automated stuff that's going to happen, the manual stuff that's going to happen is different. So for automated, they're going to get an instant onboarding email plus a video explanation and an onboarding call booking for the first call. Then they're also going to get emailed the access to the product if it's a private community, inner circle, mentorship, or whatever. And then you're going to send them an automated video. And in the automated video, you want to explain the onboarding process, reassure them about their purchase, be like, oh, you're in great hands, blah, 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 blah. And then after that, you want to give them next steps and exactly what to do. And again, what to do in the actual meantime before the call, so they actually have something to do. And they, again, get something done before the call so that you have a bit of an easier time talking to them. For manual, send a message to confirm the call. You can do this yourself. I recommend doing this yourself. If you don't want to do this, if you have a very high lead flow, obviously, you can just get somebody else to do this, a team member, CSM again. I would really recommend getting a CSM again. If you're big, if you're smaller, just do it yourself. Just spend a bit more extra time on these guys. You want to send a message to confirm the call. Then you want to set everything up with them. So schedule another call as well. And for this onboarding call, you just want to go over what the journey will look like, make a roadmap. Basically, you want to use a document. You want to get to know them a little bit, and you want to set up exact expectations that they can believe. Overview on everything will go, understand where they are and where they want to be, make a plan for them to get to that exact state and hype them up about it, give them 10 actionables, and schedule the next call on that same call, just so there's no confusion, okay? Basic stuff. And then for fulfillment specifically, the main thing you need to do here is just over-deliver on your promises. If you over-deliver, the reason is just because more results from your clients equals more case studies, which equals more trust, which equals more money in your bank account. And if you guys are out for helping people, again, if you don't get them results, you aren't helping them. You're just making their life worse because you're just stealing their money at that point. So this is how we make sure that we're not running a scam operation. And I know you probably do care about your students, but just as a reminder for a lot of people who don't, just care about your students. Because if you do, they'll work harder and faster, and you'll be way more likely to get them actual results. And again, in return, make more money. So it's going to be a win-win situation for everybody if you just care more about your students. You want to create a Notion doc or a Miro board or a ClickUp, whatever you're using for your project management, to manage everything about them. The payment plans, goals, details, fulfillment progress, number of calls, etc. Everything. This is just for having an overview of everybody's progress, tracking success rates and metrics, seeing what's working, understanding everybody, and organizing and systematizing fulfillment. And now from here, obviously fulfillment is going to be up to you. I can't really help you much since it entirely depends on your product or offer. But the goal here is just to get as many results as fast as possible, staying up to date with everybody's progress, and making fulfillment easier just because you know every singular thing that you need to do. And by the way, if you guys want me to go ahead and give you the exact fulfillment steps and everything, hop on a call with me down below. Link in the first link down below in the description. Very easy stuff. That was the entire roadmap of how you're going to get from $0 to $100,000 in any coaching business, from all the way from content optimization to market research to offer creation to payment, product funnel creation, product creation, launch preparation, sales, onboarding, and fulfillment, all the way through every singular part of the funnel that you would have any confusion on, basically. Okay, hope you got a ton of value from this video. If you did, feel free to just leave a comment about how you did like the video. It actually does help in the YouTube algorithm, do all that YouTube stuff. And of course, if you do want to go ahead and work with me, if you are interested in working with me, go ahead and check the first link down below. I actually help coaches and consultants scale their info businesses. If they have an info product that they are interested in starting, I help them actually start that, build it from scratch if they have an existing following, and then of course monetize it with their existing following. Very basic stuff. Check out the link down below. DM me on Instagram. We will talk. It's not going to be some kind of set or anything. And if you don't want to do any of that and you just want to watch another one of my videos, you can just go ahead and check this one out right here because YouTube thinks that you'll like it. If you want to watch the whole funnel breakdowns playlist with upwards of $100,000 worth of sauce, you can check that out like right over here. And of course, if you do want to go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, you can subscribe right here. And if you want to leave a like, that's down below the video. Again, down below again as well. Do all the YouTube stuff. See you on another video.